This is a demo of how to use AI Notebook to hack Civil Service Prelims exam within 7 to 8 days. By hack, I mean the preparation, of course. So, वैसे तो you can use it effectively for all stages of the exam, but because prelims are right here, let's just start with that. You can register here free and then sign in. You will come at this dashboard screen. इस पे आपको CSE library पे click करना है, where we've uploaded all the PYQ notes for prelims, mains, and optionals as well. This is right now just the prelims notes. Mains we're in the process of uploading. And for the purpose of this demo, let's pick a good question from last year prelims paper. So I will open this prelims 2024 PYQ notes. All right, I've already opened it here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a high yield question. A high yield question with some difficulty level. By high yield, I mean a question जिसका कुछ theoretical background हो, कुछ theory हो, and it's notorious for the fact that UPSC every year there's going to be a question from this topic. For example, let's instead of this search, let's use the browser search, Buddhism. This reader is, by the way, the world's most advanced web-based reader. I'm going to tell you more about it once I've explained you the strategy. So let's take this question. Sanghabhuti, an Indian Buddhist monk who traveled to China at the end of the 4th century AD, was the author of a commentary on, and these are the options. So I'm going to take this question, copy it, right? And ये जो icon आप देख रहे हो, the black icon with a robot on it, that's the AI chat of AI Notebook. And this is accessible to you from all screens of AI Notebook. So I'll tell you more about that. So I'll open the chat. I'll open a new chat, a new conversation, or I'm going to paste it here with a prompt, right? So I'm not going to ask it to explain and answer the question because we have already done it. We have already answered the question. We've dealt with its options. So अगर आपको ये information चाहिए, that is already available in our pre-IQ notes. You can of course copy a part of it and use it to get more information. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the question and ask it to generate 10 similar questions with good difficulty and complexity from the perspective of UPSC CSE Prelims. Right. There's a prompt. It's working right now. Let's go full screen on it in a bit. Let's go full screen on it. So it does not stream the response. रिस्पॉन्स जैसे आपने अगर AI चैट कोई भी कभी यूज़ किया है तो वो एक एक लाइन करके आता है, but our API fetches the entire response at once और वो पूरा आंसर एक साथ आएगा आपके सामने. So that's why it takes a few seconds to get the response. It's here. Right, let's look at the questions. Which of the following texts is traditionally attributed to Nagarjuna, a prominent figure in Mahayana Buddhism? That's a good question. The famous Buddhist scholar Dharmakriti is best known for his contributions to the following fields. The Heart Sutra, which is one of the most significant texts of Mahayana, the Lotus Sutra, the Tripitaka, Ashoka, the Mauryan, Sankhya philosophy, Bodhisattva vow, Mahayana Buddhism, Anatta or no self, Sanskrit Buddhist text. So these are the questions, right? I'm not going into the detail of it because right now I'm just showing you how to use it. Okay. You can go through the question, you can try solving them, or you can just read them to give yourself more exposure. And then you can ask it to answer and explain them. We can read a question till then. Sankhya philosophy, which has influenced various Indian religions, is primarily concerned with the relationship between which two concepts? Atman and Brahman, Purush and Prakriti, Karma and Dharma, Suffering and Alignment. Sankhya philosophy is uh, the one about. Sankhya is probably the most rational one. So before I read the answer, I'll try to eliminate it. Sankhya is. Where is it? Probably Purush and Prakriti. I'm not sure about it. I could get it wrong. But that's why we have this process. Here are the answers and explanations. Original logic and epistemology. Universal potential of Purush and Prakriti. Yeah, we got that one right. Yeah, would have been embarrassing if I got it wrong. But okay. Commissioning the construction of stupas. Theravada Buddhism. Okay, alright. So here's your explanation. तो explanations अभी काफ़ी brief है. चाहे तो because we asked it to explain all the questions. अगर आपको किसी एक सब्जेक्ट के बारे में अगर ज़्यादा इंफॉर्मेशन चाहिए किसी एक टॉपिक के बारे में you can ask it to do that. What else we can do about the question? एक और चीज़ देखते हैं कि ये क्वेश्चन किस टॉपिक से था. Indian Buddhist monk who traveled to China at the end of the 4th century. Buddhist monk, right? And travel to China. तो इसमें Buddhist monk भी है और travelers भी है. So let's ask it to generate a list of all major Buddhist monks and their contributions. Buddhist monks and their contributions. All right, let's do it. You can also ask the AI to create the list of questions with answers at the bottom or with answers and explanations simultaneously. वो भी आप कर सकते हैं, but I recommend कि पहले आप सिर्फ questions generate करें so that you have an opportunity to engage with the question a little bit without knowing the answer. Because आप कितना भी क्यों ना पढ़ लें, the exam is eventually cleared on the basis of questions जिनके answers आपको नहीं पता होते. It's important to engage with the questions. Here is the list of notable Buddhist monks throughout history, along with their significant contributions to Buddhism. तो एक और चीज़ अब इसमें करते हैं. I'm going to tell you about another feature. For example, all of this content is relevant, and what happens in civil service exam is कि आप कोई भी चीज़ सिर्फ एक बार नहीं पढ़ सकते. आपको उसे बार बार पढ़ना पड़ेगा, 3 बार पढ़ना पड़ेगा और रिवाइज करना पड़ेगा. So ये जो आप बटन देख रहे हैं, ये फ्लॉपी डिस्क वाला, दिस इज द सेव टू नोट बटन. यू कैन क्लिक ऑन इट और या तो आप अपने किसी एग्जिस्टिंग नोट पे सेव कर सकते हैं. जैसे मैं यूज़ कर रहा हूँ तो मेरे पास एग्जिस्टिंग नोट्स हैं वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री, एंशिएंट हिस्ट्री, स्कीम्स इन इंडिया में. और यू कैन क्रिएट a new one called Buddhism. All right, it's a high yield topic, so it will only help you कि आप एक नोट सेपरेट क्रिएट कर लें. I'll show you what the note looks like. It's a very good note editor and note reader function. So this is saved as a note. I'm going to go back to the dashboard, click on notes. Here are the notes. You can search notes, और the way the search works is कि ये सिर्फ title नहीं search करता है, ये content भी search करता है. For example, the title of the note is Buddhism, right? But instead of typing Buddhism, I'm going to type monks because that's the point we discussed. और आप देखोगे केवल यही नोट बचा है because this is the only one that talks about monks. अगर आपके पास 10 नोट्स होते 100 में से जो monks के बारे में बात करते तो वो 10 यहाँ पे आ जाते. Let's open it. This is a note. अब इसमें से मैं डेट मिटा देता हूँ. We don't need that. Let's save it. And I'm going to show you about a couple of features. This probably don't need the highlight bar. Ignore the error, the note is saved. What we're going to do is you can use this button to bring on the highlight toolbar. अब highlight toolbar क्या होता है जैसे कि आप कोई नोट सेलेक्ट करते हो, the toolbar is here, you can highlight the selection, right? और आपकी सारी highlights यहाँ पे आ जाती हैं. जैसे let's make another one, right? Let's make it green. This is green. You can add another note to the highlights. Emperor Maurya Dynasty. जैसे Maurya Dynasty के बारे में you can pull the AI chat from here, type something about the Maurya Dynasty, और अगर आपको वो note useful लगे तो आप उसे use कर सकते हो. Another thing you can do with the notes is you can use a read aloud feature.
Here's a list of notable Buddhist monks throughout history, along with their significant contributions to Buddhism.
हो सकता है थोड़ा आपको echo आए क्योंकि माइक इस लैपटॉप का चालू है जिस पे ये वीडियो रिकॉर्ड हो रहा है. You have the option to select from a range of voices. This is more than 100 and in different languages, so you can do that. You can adjust speed, volume, etc. regular stuff. So let's close the reader. Let's go back to a strategy part here. तो ये हमने एक टॉपिक कवर किया है. Now what I'm going to do is, ये 2024 का पेपर है. I'm going to open PYQ notes. 2011 to 2023 तक इसमें कवरेज है. I'm going to search. हम बुद्धा ही सर्च करते हैं. The universal truths of Buddhism, for example, right? Ambika, Dukkha. This is actually an easy question, but let's still repeat the process for it because it's still a high yield question and you can never assume कि कितने प्रकार के सवाल इससे बन सकते हैं. So let's just do that. This is an example of a list I generated. चला गया. So you can also generate tabular lists. इसमें let's paste this question and say generate 10 questions, right? 10 similar questions, 10 similar questions with a high level of difficulty and complexity for UPSC CSE Prelims. Difficulty और complexity आप adjust कर सकते हो, उस level के questions generate होंगे. So ये process you're supposed to repeat it for all high yielding topics, of course. For example, I believe Buddhism और Jainism जैसे हर साल दो सवाल आते हैं, कभी 4 सवाल भी आते हैं, तो 2 से 4 सवाल यू कैन एक्सपेक्ट एवरी ईयर, एवरी कपल ऑफ ईयर्स. ये आपको अच्छे से कवर करने पे फ्रॉम दिस मेथड शायद 2 घंटे लगेंगे मैक्स. एंड वी कैन यूज द सेम मेथड ऑन पॉलिटी इकोनॉमी. मैं आपको दिखाऊंगा आगे. According to Jain philosophy, which of the following concepts is central to the understanding of the cycle of birth and rebirth? All right. Syadvad refers to which of the following? Consider the most important scripture of Jainism. The universe is divided into how many realms? Anekantavada. Same method. Answer and explain. So instead of repeating this method, चलो आपको कल्चर का समझ में आ गया आप कैसे कर सकते हो. You can ask it to answer and explain. You can ask it to write a note on the topic of the question. Write a note. I'll do this. Write a detailed note on the topic of the original question. This is called context. और जब तक कि हम ये कर रहे हैं मैं आपको एक और फीचर बता देता हूँ. आप you can look at options. You can look at the options here. ये तो chat history है. You click on content. तो यहाँ पे AI नोटबुक पे आपके अकाउंट में आपका जितना भी कंटेंट होगा, जो डॉक्यूमेंट्स आपने अपलोड किए हैं, जो नोट्स आपने बनाए हैं, और जो लाइब्रेरी में हमने नोट्स अपलोड करके रखे, यू कैन यूज ऑल ऑफ देम एज कॉन्टेक्स्ट डॉक्यूमेंट. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, सी हमने बुद्धिज्म पे नोट बनाया था, आई कैन सेलेक्ट दिस, तो यहाँ पे आ जाएगा एज अ कॉन्टेक्स्ट. तो जो अब चैट होगा विद द कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ दिस डॉक्यूमेंट होगा. आई कैन आस्क इट टू समराइज इट एज वेल, राइट. लेट्स सी. Tirthankara structure, universal law. So we got a note on Jain philosophy and cosmology, key concepts in Jain cosmology. Karma, Syadavadya, Anikantva, Tirthankara, Ahamsa, Sallekana. Alright. If you want, you can save it here, say, either as an existing node or create a new node. I'm not going to do that here again. Let's choose context. For example, let's choose this one. Right. I select Buddhism, जो हमने अभी नोट बनाया था. I'm going to ask it to summarize it. Summarize. Sorry. Summarize the document in context. Summarize document in context. The thing with using API for summarization is कि इसका context window अभी उतना ज़्यादा नहीं है जितना होना चाहिए. तो आप बहुत बड़े documents इसमें summarize नहीं कर सकते. आपके notes definitely कर सकते हो. For big documents, we're building a local engine. जैसे आप 300 से 500 पेज के डॉक्यूमेंट की चैप्टर वाइज समरीज जनरेट कर सकते हैं. कुछ दिनों में वो भी आ जाएगा. We're working on it. Here is a summary of the note you generated. ये जो हमने बुद्धिज्म में नोट किया था, ये उसका छोटा वर्जन है. यहाँ पे भी दिखाएगा यूजिंग कॉन्टेक्स्ट फ्रॉम बुद्धिज्म, और यहाँ पे भी you'll see the mark based on Buddhism. All right. Document provides a detailed overview of notable Buddhist monks throughout history and the significant contributions to Buddhism. Fantastic. Let's remove the context. This is a prompt library जिसमें हमने प्रीलोड करके रखे हैं कुछ prompts so that it gives you a start. ये prompts सारे subjects के बारे में including CSAT. All right, let's give you a CSAT. Let's use this prompt. Prompt पे click करेंगे, it will be automatically copied here. आपको सिर्फ enter दबाना है. And this prompt was create a 400-word passage on climate finance in India. Add 5 CSAT level MCQs, 1 correct option, 3 distractors with detailed keys and line references. Let's see what it generates. Jab tak I can give you an overview of prompts. I see some main prompts. History, polity. Critically examine the role of Finance Commission in India's fiscal federalism. Substantiate with data from. इसको आप test series भी समझ सकते हो. So what AI is supposed to do is कि जो research में और जो नोट्स बनाने में, मटेरियल ढूंढने में टाइम लगता है, ये कंप्लीटली एलिमिनेट कर सकते हो. इट कुड इंक्रीज योर एफिशिएंसी 10x. आप 10 दिन में 100 दिन का काम कर सकते हो. हमने जनरेट किया पैसेज ऑन क्लाइमेट फाइनेंस इन इंडिया 5 सीसैट लेवल एमसीक्यूज के साथ. दिस इज योर पैसेज. व्हाट इज द प्राइमरी गोल फॉर क्लाइमेट फाइनेंस इन इंडिया. करेक्ट आंसर भी दे रखा है इसने यहाँ पे, बट यू कैन explicitly include an instruction to exclude the correct answer or give the correct answer at the bottom. You can read a little bit of it. It refers to the financial resource allocated. Right. This is it. About it. Now what I want you to do is, let's pick a difficult conceptual question. Right. किसी दूसरे subject से. This is the index. All our notes have like great detailed indices. This is a good question. With reference to the rules imposed by the Reserve Bank of India while treating foreign banks, consider the following statements. No requirement of capital. Fantastic. Let's copy this. Now this is an important topic. We're going to use same template. Or in fact, let's try something else this time. Answer and explain and create three questions. Let's make it three similar questions on the same topic with good level of difficulty and complexity. Good level of difficulty and complexity इसलिए डाल रहा हूँ because that's how the prelims is these days. Right, if you're preparing for a state PSC exam, questions mostly straightforward होते हैं, इतने carefully or ambiguously drafted नहीं होते हैं, so you don't have to add that. Or it's a general purpose technology. AI notebook is a general purpose platform. It is not exam specific. हमने मॉडल को थोड़ा ट्यून किया है सिविल सर्विस एग्जाम के लिए डेफिनेटली, but you can use it for other exams as well. The correct answer is B2 only, जैसा कि we could have seen there. No minimum capital requirement. Does impose a minimum capital requirement. Wholly owned banking subsidiary, at least 50% of the board members should be Indian nationals. इस पे एलिमिनेशन वाला लॉजिक भी काफ़ी अच्छा लगता है. नो मिनिमम कैपिटल रिक्वायरमेंट, एब्सोल्यूट स्टेटमेंट्स ऐसे सही होते नहीं है, एंड इट डजंट इवन मेक सेंस. Wholly owned banking subsidiaries in India, it sounds like there should be some regulation, right? And no minimum capital requirement sounds like a very essential regulation that should be there. There should be a minimum capital requirement. And for wholly owned banking subsidiaries in India, at least 50% of the board members should be Indian nationals. That makes sense, right? That's a minimum level of regulation. A wholly owned banking subsidiary, by default, just hearing these terms should ring some bells. There should be some regulation. Statement 2 says some regulation. Statement 1 says no regulation. There is a conflict. दोनों तो हो ही नहीं सकते थे. And instincts should be कि it should be regulated. And that way 2 should be the only option. और ये करने के लिए आपको कुछ मीनिंगफुल क्वेश्चन से इंगेज करना पड़ेगा so that you get better at doing this, right? And that happens when you attempt some more questions. Theory तो एक जगह, it gives you clarity. अगर आपको background नहीं है उस concept के बारे में, it gives you the opportunity to read about it. Let's read a question. With reference to the guidelines issued by the Reserve Bank of India, foreign banks operating in India consider the following statements. Foreign banks can operate in India only through branches and cannot establish solely on subsidiaries. ठीक है, it's a good question. Simultaneously answer और explanation भी दे दिया, पर मैंने आपको पहले ही बता दिया है कि you can regulate it according to the way you want it. आपको आंसर्स चाहिए अगर क्वेश्चंस में तो वैसे जनरेट करवाइए. तो PYQ एनालिसिस जो होता है, टू बी ऑनेस्ट इन इट्स पोटेंशियल, दैट्स व्हाट इट मींस. इट जस्ट डजंट मीन कि आप चारों ऑप्शंस के एनालिसिस कर लीजिए, बट बिकॉज क्वेश्चंस जनरेट करना इतना ज़्यादा रेगरस हो जाता है कि ये तो आप कर ही नहीं सकते थे अब तक के. बट द गेम हैज़ चेंज नाउ. रिसर्च का हिस्सा जा चुका है. द एंटायर रिपोजिटरी ऑफ ह्यूमन नॉलेज इज एट योर फिंगर टिप्स नाउ. वर्क फ्लो हमने मैनेज कर दिया है AI नोटबुक के साथ. आप एक क्लिक में सेव कर सकते हो. आपके पास सारे PY के नोट्स के रिसोर्सेज अवेलेबल हैं इन द ग्रेटेस्ट वेब बेस्ड रीडर ऑफ ऑल टाइम. बहुत ही अच्छे से इंडेक्स्ड है. यू कैन सर्च एवरीथिंग, राइट? देयर इज अ हाईलाइट बार डेडिकेटेड here. All of your highlights show up here. You can turn the highlight mode on, और फिर उसके बाद आप कुछ भी highlight कर सकते हो. Let's just highlight this, right? Apply highlight, और there is your highlight. Woodmill cast, woodmill waste. You can go to it. You can save a highlight to note as well, जैसा मैंने आपको बताया था, right? Go to highlight. यहाँ पे आपको save to note option आएगा. You can exercise it. Same process. Also, you can add notes to the highlights as well. मैंने किसी highlight में कर रखा है, सिराज को पता चले. In this highlight I've added a note. It's a big note because I saved the entire chat to it. Yeah. There you go. Let's close it. Text to speech player is integrated in readers as well. कभी आपका पढ़ने का मन नहीं हो या फिर you're tired, you just want to listen to it.
H. Contemporary era, 1990s, present. Rise of regional parties like Shiv Sena, 1966, DMK, 1949, AIADMK, 1972, TDP, 1982, SP, 1992, and AAP, 2012.
What is read?
Strengthening of coalition politics, e.g., NDA, UPA, BJP.
All right. This is it. We're back at the dashboard. You can upload PDFs as well. Library, semantic search. Semantic search is meaningful search. You don't specifically need to rely on it because हमने सब जगह search दे ही रखी है in notes as well as EPUB reader. So this is it. What you, however, need to be aware of is that there is a subscription, of course. एक limited preview usage होता है आपके पास as a free user, and you can subscribe to it then. But it doesn't have to be like one user, one account. You can subscribe for one account, you can share it with your friends. You can run it on multiple devices and all that. We allow that. We want it to be easier for you, right? So I encourage you to use this tool. I think it's really transformative. और मैं खुद भी कुछ और वीडियोस बनाऊंगा explaining it to you how you can use it for other parts of this exam, especially mains, जिसमें research का रोल ज़्यादा बढ़ जाता है, right? You have to generate a lot of content enrichment snippets and all of that. So yeah, that's about it. Go to ainotebook.com and secure this competitive advantage.